What's going on, guys? Elias Thompson here, Pure Athlete System, and today's video is actually a requested topic, and I'm really excited to talk about this because, as you guys all know by the title probably by now, deadlift is my favorite lift. I love doing deadlift. There's something about hitting up here on a deadlift that I just really love the fact compared to any other lift. I really, even squat, I've been squatting a lot lately, but the deadlift is just, I don't know, I love it. Really cool lift. So anyways, besides that, today I'm going to talk about why I think the deadlift is the best display of strength out there. Not just because I'm really good at it, but just kind of like the science aspect behind it. And I'm going to talk about the difference between conventional and sumo, what you should do if you're trying to build your deadlift, and why you should build your deadlift. So first off, the deadlift in general is the best display of strength out there. Not because, lower body wise, people might want to split this up. Bench press is the best for upper body. Deadlift and squat, whatever, deadlift or squats is the best for lower body. But here's why I want to say the deadlift is the best overall display of strength. And that is because you pull the weight from the dead stop. And pulling the weight from a dead stop, meaning, on a bench press, you start up here, you bring it down, and there's a stretch reflex that's called in lifting. It's called a stretch reflex. You're able to get the weight back up. Squat, same thing. You start up here, up high, squat down, you you go down to 90, you go right below parallel, and you pop back up. Stretch reflex. That's like that on all lifts. Now, pulling lifts like the deadlift, there's no stretch reflex. It's a dead pull from a dead stop. And what this does is it requires the most neurological efficiency possible that anybody can ever have, because you're recruiting the most amount of muscle fibers possible throughout your body to start this weight off the floor. Starting the deadlift is the absolute hardest thing you can do in weightlifting. Starting a pull from nothing. Now, I'm not talking about guys. Deadlifting isn't when you pull it out of the rack. I hate when I see this. I'm saying that right now. When guys pull, they have the weight racked. They pull it out. They walk out like 2 steps. They go down. Boom. They bounce it right back bounce it off the ground. Bounce it right back up into their starting position. That's not an actual deadlift, guys. That's cheating the lift. The deadlift is a dead pull off the floor. And then neurological efficiency, like I said, needed to pull that type of weight off the floor is really the best display of strength. And this can really carry over to other lifts when you're able to recruit that many muscle fibers to start 600 pounds, 500 pounds off the floor. It's going to carry over to other lifts when you need that strength. And getting really strong at the deadlift is just great for strength in general. That's why it's such a very, a lot of people will agree with me on this, why it is probably the best display of strength there is. Not just because I'm good at it, it's because it really does take brute strength to move weight from a dead stop. It really does. It really can develop power and athleticism. It's a really great exercise, recruiting 90% of the muscles in the body. Like, if somebody just deadlifted, you better believe they'll have a pretty solid back, upper body. Even though you're not training pushing movements exactly, they're going to have a pretty solid upper body due to the fact that the amount of muscle fibers they recruit. So now, you got that out of the way. Conventional versus sumo. So for me personally, a sumo deadlift, as you can see in my videos, the sumo deadlift is my strong suit, and it has to do, conventional and sumo all have to do, like if you're looking to pull the most amount of weight possible for whoever you are, you got to look at your leverages. Now, guys like myself with really long legs, a shorter torso, and long arms, deadlift naturally a good lift for them. No. Sumo is my strong suit. And that simply is because it's more of a quad dominant exercise, and I think I have a very strong posterior chain, but the quad dominance and the cutting down the range of motion is what a sumo actually does. You're cutting out inches on the pull. See, when you wind your feet out like that, the top of the deadlift is a lockout. Whether your legs are locked out like this, or you're standing straight out and locked out like this. The thing that doesn't change is the weight. The weight starts on the floor, and the bar is the same height off the floor. So if I'm pulling conventional, I'm standing straight up like this, I have to pull that weight that much farther. We're talking maybe 4 to 6 inches farther, which is a lot. It's a lot when it comes to pulling hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Now, I wind my feet out, and I get my hips into it, and I use my quads to start the weight, and I cut down the posterior chain, my back, and there's not as much back involved. It's really cutting down the range of motion and using the right leverages, if you have them. That pull is like 6 inches shorter with the same amount of weight, which makes it easier. It's honestly like doing a rack pull on conventional, which rack pulls never do. Never do. I'll make a whole video on that. They're a waste of time, personally, and they destroy bars. They do. I'll talk about that some other time if you have questions about it. But so sumo is my strong suit. Some guys have shorter femurs, longer torsos. Conventional is theirs. Some guys pull better sumo, some guys pull better conventional. It's really just a preference. You really got to check out your body type for it. Now, what I will say is sumo is almost like doing a wide stance squat. Now, what this does is it recruits more quad muscles, and it takes out less back, less posterior chain, less hamstring. It's more quad and core, and it's a good exercise if you can't squat. Now, if you can't squat, sumos are great for you. Deep sumos, I'm talking really getting wide, those would be great for you. But now we'll twist that over to conventional now. Conventional actually is a better lift than brute strength and power. And like conventional Romanian deadlifts, brute strength and power, those will actually develop your back better, your core better, your glutes, your hamstrings, and really make you a better, thicker athlete person. Or if you're looking to build muscle like a bodybuilder, those are better lifts. The conventional, actually, I trained conventional all the first 2 years all the way on up to about 455 pounds is my max to conventional before I even touched sumo. And it really does work. It really built my hamstrings, my glutes, and it really carried over my squats, my other lifts. It's very true that deadlift does this. The more my deadlift went up, the better my bench got, the better my overhead press got. Everything seemed kind of correlated, I guess. I'm not going to really say that as one, but it did help. It did help. The stronger I got my deadlift, the stronger everything else got. And by doing conventional on the way up, and actually when I built my 500 sumo this past year, in like 2 months I went from 500 to 600 pounds sumo, I actually trained a lot of conventional in there. And what that did was it just added more raw strength. So when I hopped over to the sumo and cut out that range of motion, it popped right up. And doing squats and conventional, my sumo felt great. So pretty much what I would do if I was ever going to be a power lifter or trying to peak for a sumo deadlift, I'd touch sumo maybe once every 2 weeks, just to keep technique down and get the movement pattern down. But I would wide stance squat and a conventional deadlift, and I think that really would build the most strength and muscle for all that. So really, guys, that is my take on those two lifts, and really how you get strong at these is really do them. I don't really throw too much. I have not thrown too much accessory work into my deadlifts or anything. I haven't really done too many good mornings. Most, if anything, I squat. Squat is a great supplemental exercise for the deadlift. It really does help when I come back to it. Wide stance. When you come back to wide stance, doing wide stance squats, you come back to conventional deadlifts, you're going to have more. And pretty much squats and the glute ham raises are some of my favorites with some core work and just doing the deadlift in general. And I don't use rack pulls. I don't do block pulls or deficits really. I did the other day, first time ever, screwing with a deficit. Didn't really, I don't know, but to build up to where I am now, I never used any of that. And what I would use was speed deadlifts, speed pulls, so dropping, going 50% of your max for like 8 sets of 2 or 8 sets of 3 or so. Never going over 3. And then having one heavy pulling day. When I actually built up to the 100-pound jump in my sumo, I had one day of the week, Monday, I come in and I'd hit a heavy single, like a near maximal single on my sumo deadlift. And then Thursday or Friday I come back in and I do conventional for like 10 by 2, 50% of my conventional max speed deadlifts. And this seemed to really work with some squat workouts in between there. And that really helped build my deadlift. And I don't think there's really anything better you can do to build up your deadlift than a proper program where you're not wearing yourself out. It's not something you want to do every day. And when you're first getting into lifting, if you cannot do 4 plates yet on the deadlift, I suggest just following a proven novice program. I have one. It's called Baseline Strength. It's only $14.95, and it works unbelievably well. Some of the best tactics. It's very simple. When you're a beginner lifter, you need exercise minimalism. And when you focus on getting your bench stronger, your overhead press, your squat, your deadlift, and your rows stronger, you really build that base fast. I'm talking within 6 months to a year, you'll be deadlifting well into the 400s, squatting in the 300s, benching in the 200s off a program like that. And I screwed up when I first started lifting. It took me 3 years to actually achieve what I could have achieved in like 6 months just because I didn't have proper programming. But anyways, guys, that's my talk on the deadlift. I love the lift. I really want to get around a Texas deadlift bar. I can say I'll maybe, if I can, I don't know if I can edit this good, but I'll clip when I pulled my 605 and didn't lock it out. I'll link that in here. And that was on a Texas deadlift bar, and those things bend. They're bendy. They're actual deadlift bars. And so far, when I was pulling 500, like 505, my conventional top I did the other day ago, I mean, none of my lifts, none of my deadlifts recently have been on a deadlift bar. I can't really find one in a commercial gym around here, which is kind of annoying, kind of a shame, but you know, I guess I'll have to go buy one. And I can't, or go back to the gym, and I can't wait to test my new Sumo Max. I think I could rip up 605 here like nothing now. You know, my squat's gone up, my conventional's gone up. Sumo, I haven't really been able to test it, but that's just how it should go. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe. And if you want anything else, if you want to have me cover anything else, just please leave a comment down below or message me or something. So, see ya.